Have you ever wondered why a brand new medicine, one that seems so promising in clinical trials, ends up working differently when it hits the real world? Well, it's a massive question in healthcare, and the answer is actually changing, well, everything about how we discover new treatments. So let's dive into the fascinating world of real-world data.
Right, this is the core puzzle we're going to unpack. Imagine this. A new drug just aces its trials. It's safe, it's effective, it gets the big green light. But then, once millions of different people start using it in their normal, messy, everyday lives, a much more complicated and sometimes totally surprising picture starts to form. So where does that gap even come from?
Well, just look at the contrast here. Clinical trials, they're like a pristine, perfectly controlled laboratory. The patients are often younger, they have very few other health problems, and they follow the rules perfectly. But the real world? The real world is messy. Real patients are often older. They're juggling multiple conditions. And you know what? They might not take their medicine exactly on schedule every single day. And that's not a flaw, that's just reality.
And this gap, the space between the lab and real life, can have huge consequences. I mean, take the story of a certain diabetes drug from a few years back. In the trials, everyone knew it had some heart benefits, but that wasn't the main headline. It wasn't until researchers started looking at the data from millions of actual patients that they had this incredible aha moment. They discovered it was profoundly good at protecting people from heart attacks and strokes. That insight completely changed how doctors treated the disease for countless people.
So the big question is, how do we find these crucial insights sooner? How do we see what's really happening outside the perfect bubble of a clinical trial? The answer is data. More specifically, it's data that we collect from our everyday lives. And this brings us to the real hero of our story today, real-world data, or RWD for short.
So what is this stuff, really? You hear the term real-world data thrown around a lot, but it's way more than just a buzzword. It's a truly powerful resource that's gathered far away from any traditional research lab. It's literally a snapshot of health as it's actually happening out in the wild.
The key idea here is pretty simple. RWD isn't collected for some specific one-off experiment. It's all the information that gets gathered during routine, everyday healthcare. It's basically a byproduct of the healthcare system just doing its job. Think of it as the data exhaust from every normal health interaction.
And the sources? They're all over the place. You've got your electronic health records. Those are the digital charts from your doctor's office. You've got insurance claims, which show these huge patterns across millions of people. Then there's information coming straight from patients themselves about their quality of life. And of course, there's the absolute explosion of data from our smartwatches and health apps, tracking everything from our heart rate to our sleep. It's like a whole constellation of data, and every little point of light gives us a different piece of the puzzle.
Okay, so we know what RWD is and where it comes from, but the really exciting part is what we can do with it. This isn't just about hoarding data for the sake of it. This is about using that data to spark a genuine revolution in how we discover, develop, and deliver healthcare.
Just look at drug development. It's a notoriously slow and incredibly expensive process. Well, RWD is a total game changer here. It helps researchers figure out where new medicines are needed most. It helps them design smarter trials. It can even be used to create what are called synthetic control groups. Now think about that. If you're testing a drug for an ultra-rare disease, finding a comparison group is almost impossible. But with RWD, you can build a digital one from past patient data. It's incredible. And maybe most importantly, it lets us keep an eye on a drug's safety long after it's on the market, like the FDA's Sentinel initiative. It can spot a rare side effect in millions of people that a trial with just a few thousand would never, ever catch.
And the impact just keeps spreading. Real-world data is the engine that's finally making personalized medicine a reality. We're finally moving away from that old one-size-fits-all approach. By looking at data from millions, we can figure out which treatment works best for a very specific type of person. It also helps hospitals fine-tune their operations, and it lets public health officials track things like disease outbreaks almost in real time. It's just a smarter way of doing things.
But, of course, it's not as simple as just grabbing on this information and pressing a button. This is a complex data maze, full of twists and turns. And to get to the real insights, researchers have to figure out how to navigate some pretty significant challenges. Yeah, working with this data is tricky. For one, it comes from dozens of different systems and all sorts of formats, so you need these common data models to get it all speaking the same language. The data can also be messy, full of typos or missing info. That's where AI comes in, using smart algorithms to clean everything up. And then there's the big one. Scientists have to use some seriously advanced statistics to tell the difference between something that causes an outcome and something that's just correlated with it. And through all of this, above all else, patient privacy is absolutely non-negotiable.
That means rock-solid security and de-identification methods to protect everyone's information.
But here's the thing. Getting through these challenges isn't just about doing better analysis. It's about building toward this incredible vision for the future of medicine, a system that is constantly learning from itself.
This right here, this is the ultimate goal. Just imagine a healthcare system where every single doctor's visit, every treatment that's given, every outcome, all of it feeds back into this vast, growing ocean of knowledge. It means your care experience, once it's anonymized and combined with millions of others, actually helps make the care for the next person that much better. That's a learning health system, and RWD is what makes it possible.
So what's just around the corner? Well, think about combining all this clinical data with deep biological data, like our personal genetics. We're going to use AI to find patterns that no human could ever spot on their own. And as the big regulatory agencies like the FDA and its European counterpart get more and more comfortable with this kind of evidence, the pace of discovery is just going to keep accelerating.
When you boil it all down, this quote really says it all. This isn't just about a new type of data or some fancy new tool. It's a fundamental shift in our entire perspective, a move towards generating evidence that's faster, more relevant, and frankly, a much better reflection of all of us. So I'll just leave you with this thought. The data from all of our collective health journeys, when it's handled with the absolute greatest care for privacy and ethics, holds an immense power. It holds the potential to answer questions we haven't even figured out how to ask yet. What if the key to the next great medical breakthrough is hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered in the data of our everyday lives?